I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review, and this is another review for Grade B, one of my thoughts on Life of Pi. Thank you so much for that. If anyone's ever interested in requesting any other reviews or re-reviews or topics or any type of videos, you do so either directly via my PayPal or join me on my Patreon. The links are down below in the info box. If not, no worries. If so, thank you so much. But Life of Pi is a film I had heard of for a while. I know it's directed by Ang Lee, which I'm not a big Ang Lee guy. Hell, my favorite Ang Lee film is Hulk, which most people hate. And what was the other? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, I think he did. I wasn't a fan of that. Gemini Man, I thought sucked. There's another film I reviewed recently that I'm like, it's okay. I already forgot what the hell was that movie called? I forgot what the hell that movie was called. Damn. What was that movie called? I swear there was another Ang Lee film I saw. I can't remember what the hell it was. Oh, The Ice Storm. No wonder I forgot it. I would say I like this more than The Ice Storm. I mean, I didn't despise The Ice Storm, but I'll get to that. I'll upload either before or after this. I don't know. But Life of Pi, it's a story about this novelist that goes to see this guy and is going to write a book about his life story. And this guy who's from India, and how he told his grand story about how he was 16 and he survived a shipwreck. And he's adrift in the Pacific Ocean on a lifeboat with a Bengal tiger. And pretty much, he meets the guy, and the guy tells him the story. A good chunk of the film is flashbacks about how he got along with his parents, and his parents had a zoo, and how as a kid he wanted to be open to religion, so he went into 3 religions. About his dad would teach about how tigers, because they had a zoo, the kid was getting friendly with the tiger, and the dad's like, hey, tigers will kill, they're not going to be your friends. And the dad makes him watch this tiger kill this goat. You don't see anything, but you get the idea. So sometime later, they're going to move to Canada for hopefully better opportunities. On the boat, there's a storm. The ship sinks. And at this point, 16-year-old kid is on a boat, first off with a zebra, a hyena, an orangutan, I believe it's orangutan, and finally a tiger. The other animals you see get killed quickly, because the zebra has a broken leg, the hyena kills that and the orangutan, and then the tiger kills the hyena. And a good chunk of the film is this boy, this kid, the teen kid and the tiger, both trying to survive each other and this whole situation. It was interesting. I thought the acting was fine. I didn't mind the guy who played the 16-year-old kid or even his older self. Granted, it took any suspense away because I knew he lived because it's a flashback story. But, I still liked... I thought the acting was fine. The effects was fairly good for what it was trying to be. When you get to near the end of the film, you get the idea that maybe this is a more fantastical version that the guy's telling compared to the much grimmer reality of it. So that's why a lot of this seems fantastical, like the fish in the water that glow blue, and these whales that look as if they be whales from Fantasia or something. Or at one point they get to this island where there's a shitload of meerkats, and that the island itself is carnivorous because he finds this tooth in this plant, and that's why they can't stay on the island. I was interested to see how this whole thing with him and this tiger on this, there's like a raft, and then there's like a little support over here, and they're both tied with a piece of rope. Some of it I didn't care for, like the whole asserting your domain, like the guy's trying to piss, like this is mine, and then the tiger turns around and I guess piss, because it came from the ass and it shoots out like a bullet. I'm like, did he shit in the guy's face? But I'm guessing it's piss because the guy pissed. So did you need that scene? No, I thought that was pretty stupid. But the other bits where how him and the tiger are trying to deal with each other, you're trying to assert their domain physically, and at one point like all this fish from all the way over there, like a wave of fish, they flop, and they get some in the boat and some not in the boat. How it's kind of telling the story about this kid who was part of these three religions and didn't want to kill, but then is forced to kill fish and stuff to eat. I found the film interesting on a visual level. Again, I thought the acting wasn't bad. I didn't really get much deep emotions compared to the infinite praise the film got. I don't know, just me not being a big Ang Lee fan with the way he directs his films, or I don't know, I'm watching it. I'm vaguely interested to see what would happen next, but mainly on a visual level. I mean, the ending of the film, spoiler alert, because the novelist is like, wow, that's an incredible story. And then the guy says, well, when they found me, they didn't like that story. They wanted me to tell what really happened. So I told another story where this sailor, who was a drunkard, who actually, I think we saw him earlier in the film, and was played by Gérard Depardieu. I'm like, oh, I recognize him. That's why I was surprised by, wow, he has a very short role, like a small, brief appearance. He's in the film for just a few minutes in the first half of the film. Because when he tells the story, we don't see it. We just hear what this kid tells these other people, because it was their ship that got wrecked. It's like, we need to give answers, and what happened to our ship? And the guy's like, I don't know. It might have been an explosion. I don't know. I lost my family. So, I mean, it's not like I didn't lose anything either. And then he tells a story about how this guy who's not his mother and this drunk sailor and him, and how the sailor killed the guy with the broken leg, and the mother was pissed and killed the mother, and before there was a little bit of cannibalism. And well, I say sailor, Gérard Depardieu, more of a cook, not just a sailor, more of a cook. Like really the broken leg is more of a sailor and the other guy is more of a cook. So the cook killed the sailor who had a broken leg. The mom didn't like that. Plus a little bit of cannibalism. She didn't like that either. So he killed the mom, and that the kid killed the cook. And the way he's saying that the novelist is putting pieces together is like, wait a minute. So in a way, the zebra symbolizes that sailor because they both have broken legs. And the hyena killed both those two, so that's the cook. And the orangutan is your mom. That means you're the Bengal tiger. And then, because his name is Pi goes, yeah, but you tell me which story you like more. Do you like that story? Or do you like the story where a kid survives on a lifeboat with a Bengal tiger with all this fantastical stuff? And then even the novelist goes, I like the other story better. Which, in a way, that I can agree is the moment obviously he's building up to, and that's the moment where you can feel a bit of something, as well as agreement. Well, hell, if you ask me which story do I like more, yeah, I like the more fantastical story more than the more grim, real one. And I'm sure that's like the big point of the movie. And on one hand, I know this sounds stupid. Part of me is like, man, so really everything we saw, of course it didn't happen because it's a fucking movie, it's fantasy. But even then, it's like, even within the movie, none of that really happened that way. It's like, shit. And then it's supposed to be, I'm sure you see certain things supposed to symbolism about how the tiger is more of his animalistic side and how he's a very passive individual, but then he needed the animal side of him too to survive. And then when the tiger leaves, now that animal instinct to survive is not needed anymore because he's safe, so he walks away and doesn't look back on him. And maybe not looking back on him, he's supposed to symbolize on something deeper on that level. And I can understand it being appealing to people on that level. On its basic level, yeah, it's a good looking film. The acting is fine. Just something about it, maybe overwhelming hype I heard from it. I went, oh, it's not a bad movie. I wasn't blown away like so many critics said, but granted, this is from like 2012 and a lot has happened in the last 8 years, so to be fair on that level. I don't think it's a bad movie. Just something about it didn't bring me to the next level of, I love it. I don't know, I can't really put my finger on it. This is one of those reviews that's hard to do for me. And I never would have reviewed it anyway unless a request, so I can be honest, this is one of those reviews I know I'm not doing a great job with. There's a lot of people who do a lot better job, so don't listen to my review of this film. There'll be a lot of people who are much more passionate, much more knowledgeable, and much smarter about it. I can admit that. All I can say is the acting was good. Visually, it was interesting. You didn't need the whole pissing match where the tiger pisses in the guy's face. Some of the better, interesting visuals were the fish in the water glowing blue, or the whales, or interesting they got to the island with a ton of meerkats. That was just, something I didn't expect. But again, a little bit interesting there. I guess if I'm thinking of survival movies, I would just go more towards 127 Hours or or Castaway with Tom Hanks or other movies, because in a weird way I felt more emotional. I felt more emotions in those films compared to this. I can't really explain why. But, I mean, that's just my opinion. Again, I don't think it's a bad film. It just, I don't see this as a film I would ever be watching again. But maybe because, I'm not the biggest Ang Lee guy either. So maybe it's just the way he makes films, or, I don't know. I'm sure that's just me. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.